It is 2:37 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Welcome to Thursday and to the afternoon of Thursday. Later, once again, for this live than I had anticipated. But you know what? We are learning together. And you all will be so thrilled to know that on Sunday, I have a social networking specialist who will be meeting with me to help me with the logistics of live videos. Praise God for you, Josh. I love you. Thank you for reaching out. So I don't know. We're trying a different angle here. How does it look? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. I don't know. Does it look okay? Is the lighting better today than it's been in the past? All right, Carly, thank you for just laughing with me about this because, wow, we're working it. But this is the first week. Here's the thing. All right, I got to turn everything into a life lesson. I know what you're thinking. But here's the thing. We have to be okay with learning. Did you hear me? We have to be okay with not getting it all right from the beginning. Because experience is the way you learn. And yes, I am experiencing these live things, these live videos with you guys. And by the way, I love these. I don't know if you're loving them like I am, but I just love getting on and seeing you. Giselle, I see you. Sada, I see you. Carly, I see you. Wendell, I see you. Like, I love getting on and seeing you guys and just sharing smiles with you. But let's go back to what I was saying before. Learning. I think of Dory in Finding Nemo. That's what it was in. And she goes, just keep swimming, right? We got to just keep learning. You got to just keep going. But the way we learn is by doing. Now, don't think I didn't research the heck out of how to do live videos, because I did. Like, I went to YouTube videos, I went online, I looked at things and suggestions and ideas. But the only way you're really going to learn how to do something, in my opinion, is to do it. And the cool thing is if you surround yourself, like you guys, by people who are willing to learn with you and willing to just endure your struggles with you, unless you've got those people around you, you'll fall quickly. Something I was reminded about today is I got to spend almost 2 hours on FaceTime with my very best friend on the planet, Stacy Ferguson. I call her Chaw friend. Chaw means like massively huge. I got to spend almost 2 hours on the phone with her today, FaceTiming with her. And do you have a best friend? Like, do you have somebody who, even if you don't talk to for a long period of time, the second you pick up the phone and start talking, it's like no time ever, like there was no time span ever there. It was like you pick up right where you left off. Do you have a friend like that? I hope you do, because that is my Stacy. That is my Chaw friend. That is the one who I can go to about literally everything. We share a common faith. We share a common love. She lives way far away, but it doesn't even matter, because she's always right there with me. And in a second, I can pick up the phone, I can pick up FaceTime, I can call her, and it's instantly like we were just like sitting at a Starbucks together, having a cup of coffee, face to face once again. Like, it's just, I just tell you, I pray for you. I want to just pray for you right now that you will find someone, that the Lord will bring someone into your life who you can depend on like that. Now, Stacy and I we don't talk every day. We don't talk every week. I'm going to be honest. We really don't. We haven't. We met back in college, and I know you think that was just a couple years ago for me, but that was a long time ago, guys. That was a long time ago that I was in college. But it doesn't matter. No matter what country we're in, whether it be the same country, different countries, we're there with each other. We just are. And it is such a blessing to have her in my life. So I want to tell you, as you're learning new things and as you are just living life, Pray and ask God to just give you somebody really special in your life who will be your best friend. Now, that might be your spouse, but it might not be. I'm not married. We'll talk about singleness next week. We're going to have a whole episode on singleness. But I just want to encourage you to find somebody or have somebody. Be willing to open up to just one person in your life, because it makes such a big difference. And then surround yourself by people who are willing to grow and learn with you. I mean, we're only on day 4 of these live videos. Have any of you, I see some of you on here, have any of you seen all 4? Like, is this day 4? Have you been with me since the beginning for these things? You've seen the shininess. You've seen the craziness. Have you been with me since the beginning? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Thank you for your loyalty. We're just going to do this together. Oh, and look who just showed up. Someone else who has been here for all 4 but hasn't yet made an appearance. Guss Guss, I'm so glad you just walked by. Oh, he's going to be so thrilled about this. Guss Guss. Hi. Can you say hello to all the people? Can you say hi? Guss Guss is 20. He's almost 21 years old. His birthday is in August. I caught him when I was a freshman in college out of a pond. He had just hatched. I caught him and 12 of his brothers and sisters. There were 13 of them all together. And I caught them, gave them out to my college friends. And to this day, Guss Guss has been so faithful to stand by my side. Guss Guss, we are so glad you're here. Thank you for showing up today. Yes, I'll put you down now. Guss Guss is not allowed to go on airplanes. So no, Gus cannot go to the Amazon with me. Gus is from Shelby, North Carolina. That's what his birth certificate says. Okay, not really. I just made that up. But I did catch him out of a pond in Shelby, North Carolina. And he stays with Levi and Brittany, 2 of my dear friends who have both been to the Amazon with me before. How cool is that my Guss Guss sitters, my turtle sitters, have been to the Amazon with me? Levi's been twice, actually. And they keep him for me when I go overseas, whether it be to Mexico or to India or to Africa or to wherever. At the Amazon, of course, turtles have brains that cannot repressurize like ours can. So when we go up in an airplane and hit that altitude, do you ever feel like your ears are popping? Okay, his ears couldn't pop, in other words. So what would happen is his brain would just explode. And of course, we don't want that. So Guss Guss has to stay here. But otherwise, Guss Guss, he travels all over the U.S. with me. That turtle has probably been to more states than most Americans have been. He's probably been to more places than most people. Guss Guss sometimes, though you wouldn't know it, he's been known to go to restaurants. Guss Guss has been to a couple of movies when I just didn't want to leave him in the car. He's just been in his little bag that I carry, and it just looks like I've got a little purse on, right? And Guss Guss is down inside there. He's eaten in many of, well, he hasn't come out to eat, of course, but he's been to many of restaurants, and he just sleeps in that little bag of his. He's been to quite a few Walmarts and Targets, and oh yeah, we just go just about everywhere together. And Guss Guss has free range here in the RV. And then at night, he either crawls in himself or I will put him into a water box. It's just a Rubbermaid container. And that's where he eats and goes to the bathroom. He can't do either one of those things outside of the water. So that's why I put him into the water box at night. And oh, he just wants to come back, I guess. He just wants to say hi again. He's just sticking around for this. He loves it. And he has one obsession in life. And yeah, wave to the people. Okay, there you go. His obsession, sorry, Gus, are shoes. If you take your shoes off in Gus's presence, you can almost guarantee that within just a few minutes, he will be on top of them. Now, he also really loves feet. And every morning, as I am blow drying my hair or putting my hair up after I've gotten out of the shower and everything, and I'm putting my hair up, he will walk over and he will just sit right on my feet as I'm getting ready in the morning. It's quite precious. And you would think that maybe a turtle doesn't have a personality, but he does have a little personality. He really does. He does. Now, people have asked me, does Gus Gus come when you call him? No, he doesn't. If you have ever heard of anybody that's trained a turtle to come, I would love to know that, because I think Gus Gus could handle it, but I've never been able to actually get him to do that. So anyway, back to friendships. We're talking about friendships and surrounding yourself by pets. Pets are very therapeutic. Surrounding yourself with people who love you, with people who are willing to grow with you, with people who are willing to just embrace your failures. Are you listening? That people who are just along for the ride. And that's how I see it. I don't see things as failures or things that have things that maybe didn't go the way that I wanted them to. I just see them as ways that it didn't work, ways that it doesn't need to be done. That's how I see it. So I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work. That means that's not a way that it's done. Let's try a new way. And we go with it. It's kind of like these live videos. I'm like trying the new things, right? We found quite a few ways that it doesn't work. But I do want to ask you, hey, speaking of the live videos, I'm sorry, I am all over the place today. But I want to know, what time frame would you like for me to aim for? What works best for you guys? Like, when would you like to go live? So we have been shooting to try to get in there sometime between 2 and 2:30. Now, today was 2:37. I know, I'm sorry. I was having some mess ups here with how to set this thing up. But what is the time frame that you guys would like? Because what I would really love for us to do is to get into some interactive stuff where we're able to actually have a Q&A and you're able to type questions in, because I can see some of the things. Wendell, you said that Gus Gus is older than you. That's not true. But I can see where you guys have put in comments, and I think that's so great. I love it. And Gus Gus is very touched by all of your comments. But do type in for me when lives work for you the best, what time frame. We're going to kind of take an average of those, and also be sure you let me know. I see we've got some people here in from Kauai. Hello, I love it. I know your time frame is definitely different than Eastern Standard Time, so let us know what time works well for you, and we'll try to work that out. Friendships, let's go back to that, and just surrounding yourself with people who are supportive of you, maybe your family members or maybe not. But also something that's important here is for you to remove friendships that aren't serving you. Remove relationships in your life that aren't serving you. And you might say, oh, but then we've been together for 18, 20 years. If that relationship is not serving you, if that relationship is not bringing you happiness, if that relationship is not making you a better version of you, you need to let it go and be okay with that. I just want to give you permission to be okay with that. Because sometimes we stick it out. We're like, no, I'm not talking about, oh, so-and-so and I had a fight yesterday. I guess I'm out of here. No. I need you to look at the long term, and I need you to look at maybe even just the last 6 months, year, 2 years. Are you growing? Are you a better version of you because of that person being in your life? Are you a better version of you because you are in that person's life? And if the answer is no, maybe be willing to say, you know what? We had a great season together, but now there's a shift of a season. And now it's a new season, a new time for new friends or different friends, or maybe a shift of deepening a relationship with some other friends that you have in your life. Be okay with that, because what's so cool is then there might be a shift again in, say, 2, 5, 10 years, and you might shift back around to some of those people who today you just need to let go of for a while. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do for a relationship, is let it go for a little while. Let things just be for a little while. Let the dust settle. And then come back, unite yourself back with that person again. If the timing is right, the season is right, you're feeling led to come back into that relationship, come back. See how it goes then. Because sometimes just some time apart is a good thing. But also, I don't want you to spread yourself too thin. I don't want you to spread yourself too thin, because we cannot be the very best version of ourselves if we're spread too thin. Yesterday I talked about 70%. Were you here for the 70%? Anybody get anything out of that? Because that was profound when I learned that about working out at only 70%. I am all about that. I've got a new mindset for it. And I had a friend who messaged and said, what if we were to take on 70% in other things in life, consistently and intentionally. Consistently and intentionally. Now, I'm not saying go out there and just half flop off something. No. But what if we were only to live at 70% of our finances? What if we were to only live at 70% of our busyness? Rather than taking it to 100% every day, always giving out 110% every day and exhausting ourselves, what if we just consistently and intentionally, like with the workouts, lived our lives at 70%? Do you think that then we might have a better quality of life? Now, I don't want this to be taken out of context. Because I don't want you to think, well, I'm just going to give 70% of myself to my spouse. No. I need you to stay within context with me here. Understand what I'm saying. 70% meaning that you're not exhausting yourself on every single thing, because as we talked about with the muscle memory yesterday, if you're constantly going at 100%, you're going to see results really fast, but they're not lasting results. Whereas if you go consistently and intentionally at 70%, long-term memory kicks in. And then though the change isn't quite as fast, over the long haul, the change lasts. That's kind of big. That's profound, actually. More profound than I even realized until I said it out loud. But if we're consistently and intentionally going at 70%, only spending 70% of our finances, only booking ourselves for 70% of the day rather than, oh my goodness, how can I schedule something for every 30 minutes? Now, I know right now during the COVID season, that's a little different, but I was very guilty before COVID of literally booking myself so busy from the time I got up until the time I went to bed. And I'm not saying those things that I was doing were bad things. They weren't bad things. They were all good things. But what if I had only done 70% of those things and moved that other 30% over to another day of 70%? To give myself a little bit more time, a little bit more space within my day, would I have more quality of life? And I think the answer is yes. I've recently, since being back from sabbatical, have backed myself way off from how much I schedule myself to do in a day. And that has made a huge difference. I give myself more time every day for meditation throughout the day, for quiet time throughout the day, for extra time to just go and just walk, even if it's just for 10 minutes, to just go outside and to just walk around. And then come back. And then gradually get back into what I'm doing. Too often we live this life so fast that we're missing it. We're missing it. We're missing out on those quality things, like quality FaceTime conversations with a friend like I got to have with Stacy today. I'll be honest, even though she's my best friend in the world, Unless she would have necessarily asked for 2 hours, I would have never scheduled a 2-hour conversation with her today. I wouldn't. We are both very type A people who've got a lot going on in our lives, who are running our organizations and working and doing different things. And we probably would have scheduled a 45-minute call. I'm just being honest. But because I was only living my day today at 70%, when our phone call went a little extra long, I was able to relax in it. I was able to just go with it. And I was so fueled by that. Because she just spoke such truth and such blessing into my life in that extra amount of time. And I had the time because I'm not booking myself so rigid, which is part of the reason why 2:37 is when I got on. Like I got back from talking with her. I tried to set this up. But here's the other thing is I didn't stress about it. I didn't say, oh my goodness, I've got to get on at this time. Otherwise, the end of the world. Oh, we just got to let it go, guys. We just got to relax. We've got to realize that though our lives are very important, your life is so valuable. Your life is so important, but the world does not revolve around it. And we have to trust that we have a God that's big enough, that loves us enough, that He too wants us to have quality of life. And will help us with our schedules, will help us arrange our time, and will even put in extra time for us when we need it here and there. I used to think when somebody would cancel on me, I would have something set for a certain time with someone. If someone would cancel on me, I would get so upset by it. I would think, oh, how rude. They have no respect for my time. How rude, don't they know? And oh, I'm so busy, like, don't they realize time is money, right? No. What a blessing I now realize. If somebody cancels, I'm like, wow, okay, thanks God. Now I've got an extra hour. What should I go and do with that hour? And sometimes it's just sit down and read a chapter of my book that I'm into at that time. I read about a book a week. I love to read. I love extra time to read. I've now scheduled time in my evening to read. Do you have time scheduled for the things that you love to do? Do you have time scheduled to be with the people who you really love to be with? Have you been intentional and consistent with that? While I was on sabbatical, one of the questions we were asked, and I want to get it right. Hang on, let me go get it because the phraseology of how they said it was so good. So 1 second. Okay, the question they gave us to answer was, if I was to die in the next 6 months, what would rise to the top of my priority list? If I was to die in the next 6 months, what would rise to the top of my priority list? That was big. Because it made me actually sit down and write down what was truly important to me. And when I started to look at those things that I had put at the top of my priority list because of that question, I realized those things were not actually at the top of the priority list that I had been living by. So I've since then shifted some things. And I'm going to be honest, just because I want to be transparent with you. I want to be able to be real on these lives with you. One of those things was my family. And it's not that I don't hang out with my family. I do, actually. I love spending time with my family. But family is one of those things, quality time with family is one of those things that can easily get bumped down the priority list because, well, they're your family. They're always going to be there, right? That's kind of the mindset as well. They're my family. They're stuck with me. So I can just put them off. And when I wrote that question down, if I was to die in the next 6 months, what would rise to the top of my priority list? My family was actually the first thing I wrote. More quality family time. And that requires intentionality and consistency. Intentionality and consistency. to grow those relationships. My relationship with my family is fantastic. It really is. But I want it to be even better. I want us to create even more memories, especially with my 4 little nieces. They are so adorable, but they are growing up so fast. I want to be, because there are 4 little girls and I'm a woman, I want to be an influence in their life. I want to be somebody that they can look to glean from, which means right now while they're young, I need to consistently and intentionally put in that time. And I am so willing to do it. I have moved that to the top of the priority list, and I'm excited for that. So what about you? What would you move to the top of your priority list? Would you be willing to share? Like, are you okay with that? I would love to hear. I would love to hear what came to your mind when I read that question. Do you have something that you would kind of shift around, maybe something that you would push to the bottom of the priority list that you would be willing to say, you know what, I need to put that at a higher priority. Now, I'm not saying the end of the world is coming in 6 months. Don't anybody start all that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying anybody's going to die in the next 6 months. Only God knows that hour. But it is a way for us to get into the mindset of what is really important. What's really important. And for me this week, something I realized is so important is family and friends. Surrounding myself by people who love me, by people who will encourage me, by people who will raise me up when I'm down. I remember back before I started Stand Out Ministries, which I've now had for, my goodness, let's see, we are coming on 8 years. It's quite a while. I remember back when I started it, I went to somebody and I said, what is the best piece of advice that you would give to someone getting ready to start a company, an organization, or a nonprofit? And because this person actually had all of those. They had an LLC, they had a 501c3, they had a successful business. I said, okay, it's coming from somebody who knows literally nothing. What is the best piece of advice that you can give me right now, day one of starting this nonprofit? And they looked at me and they said, surround yourself by people who are much better at everything that you're not good at. Surround yourself by people who are really good, much better than you at everything that you're not good at. And you will automatically look like and be a success. That's pretty good advice. And so the first thing I did is I hired someone to handle my bookings because I don't know why, but man, it stresses me out to book a flight. Does that stress anybody else out? Does that stress you out? I don't know why it stresses me out, but I just feel so much pressure and I'm like, I always keep going back. Did I do the right day? Did I do the right return date? Is this layover going to work? Like, I hired somebody to do that and I hired somebody to run the finances because numbers just aren't my thing. I'm not bad with money. I'm a good steward with money, but I'm just not in that mindset of being good with spreadsheets and numbers and budgeting and how to move this and QuickBooks and all those programs. I don't know that stuff. And so I entrusted people to come into my life, into the ministry that I was getting ready to start, to run those things. And since then, I've surrounded myself. I have an editor and a proofreader. Oh, praise God, because I am not a great writer, but man, do they make me look good. I've got people who are really great at everything that I'm not great at surrounding me, which makes me look and feel more successful. And I think that's part of what Scripture calls the body of Christ working together. We wouldn't expect the toe to do the function of the nose, right? We don't expect that. Because the toe would not be a good nose, and the nose would definitely not be a good big toe. It wouldn't be. That'd be disastrous. Can you imagine if your nose was always laying on the ground, like running across? No, that's terrible. we've got to be okay, though, with saying, hey, I'm not good at everything. I'm not an eye, an ear, a belly, a knee, a calf. I'm not all those things. But I can be this one thing on the body and be it really, really good. And then allow the other functioning parts to do what they do best. You're all still part of the same body. You're all still working together. You all still have the same vision, the same goal. So surround yourself by family members, friends, staff members, board members, people who are really great at everything you're not. And also make sure those people have the same vision you do. Make sure that they are willing to say, hey, look, you are really great, Jen, at motivational speaking. I love it. I got to speak yesterday at the Lamb's Chapel, the airport campus, for the Wednesday night service. We had the best time. It was so fun. We just had a blast. I think we posted it on social media. Go back and watch it. It's just about having peace and how to have peace through this storm of COVID. And oh my goodness, we had the best time. But anyway, learning and knowing what you're really good at is important, and making sure that the people who are around you know what that thing is that you thrive in, what you love to do. I love to go to the Amazon. I love to be a motivational speaker. Those are my thrives. And the people that are my friends, my family, my board members, my staff members, they all know that. They all know that that's my lane. But then they're also really great at what they do in their lane. And because we put it together, it works and creates standout ministries. And we have a thriving organization because of God's favor, His blessing, His love in bringing us together, all our parts together for such a time as this. So I want to encourage you in that. And if you're like, Jen, I'm out here on an island, I don't know, I've got nothing, like I just feel like every day I'm so lonely, I'm the only one with this vision and this dream. Let me tell you, send me a message, okay? I want to be on your team. I know that could be crazy for me to say, and I could get a million messages, and I am okay with that. But I just want you to know that I believe in you. Whatever your crazy, audacious idea is, I want to help you propel that forward. Because if it's a thrive of yours, I know that you can and will be successful in it if you will be intentional and consistent with it. I truly believe that. Have an awesome afternoon. Thanks for joining me here. Hey, sometime tomorrow between like 1:30 and 3. I don't know. I'll try my best for 2:30, guys. We'll see how it works. It might be a little earlier. It might be a little later, but please let me know what time you would like to see these and what time works for you. Hey, because you guys are the foundation of this. You're the ones who have started this with me. So let's do this together. And if you ever have any questions or topics you want to talk about, send them my way. Send me a private message, and we'll be sure to include those in an upcoming episode. All right. I love you, Debbie, Justin, David, Kevin. Oh, I see you, Dixie, Cindy. I love you, Kendra. So good to see you, Kelly, Karen. So much love for you guys. Thanks for joining. I will see you again, hopefully tomorrow. Bye.